Oh yes, my straight dog family. It's time for me to bid you a very pleasant night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and a pleasant night to the entire Caribbean region. My straight dog family in the Kittitian and Liberian diaspora who are logged on to zizonline.com. All of you on the World Wide Web, wherever you are on the planet. I know some of you are in Asia. There are some of you in Africa. There are lots of you in Europe, and a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can't say good morning. And I'm also at liberty to say a very pleasant afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. My Sherlock family, we're a bit tired again tonight. We had some technical difficulties, but that's all over. And it's time for me, as I said, to greet you for another edition of Straight Up. Lots of things are happening at home. We're still fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. And things are looking good. Things are looking up, you can say. Things are really looking up. But we just can't get too complacent nonetheless. I am begging you not to get too complacent, my straight up family. Because we never know what could happen. Remember the first wave we had? Remember between March 2020 and April 2021, we were looking good. We were claiming to be COVID-free. Then came May, sometime in May, I think it's around the 19th of May, when we had this second wave. No hell broke loose until July 2021. Then another wave in August to present. But generally speaking, we can commend the frontline workers in all areas, all segments, in particular those health officials and nurses. Because when we look at the vaccination rate, we can say we are being successful in our fight.
Our vaccination coverage is climbing as we continue what most would agree is a successful fight against COVID-19 thus far. We now have 77.2% of adults with at least one shot and 72.9% fully vaccinated, and the vaccination rate among our teenagers is climbing. However, this low case count and high vaccination coverage can become a breeding ground for complacency if we are not mindful.
And we have to be mindful as straight up family. We have to be mindful, especially that segmented of the population that are just refusing to get vaccinated.
Despite the clear evidence that the vaccine protects against severe disease, hospitalization, and deaths, there is still a segment of the population that has no defensive shield against the virus because they remain unvaccinated. Getting vaccinated is not just a personal choice. Like wearing a mask, it is a personal responsibility you should and must assume in this public health crisis because your decision not to get vaccinated has far-reaching consequences for us all.
Your decision will impact us all, and in most cases, the impact has been negative. And my straight dog family, yes, we've had some deaths. We've had, I think, 4 deaths in 1 week. The death toll has gone to 25.
The sad occurrence of 2 more COVID deaths over the last few days should be a wake-up call and a warning to us that we are still in the middle of a pandemic and there is a deadly virus that is still circulating in our communities. The deaths continue to be among those who are unvaccinated. 23 of the 25 deaths did not have the protection that was available to them through vaccination. Sadly, we will be back here to report more deaths if persons remain unprotected.
We need to protect ourselves. We need to indemnify ourselves. And one simple way to do so is to take the vaccine that's available. Take one in, my brothers, my sisters. It's not too late to vaccinate. Take one in.
By becoming vaccinated, you are less likely to become infected, less likely to transmit the virus to others, and less likely to become severely ill. And you and your contacts are less likely to be hospitalized and overwhelm the healthcare system. More importantly, the first life you can save through vaccination is your own. Remember, it takes only an amber to start a forest fire. It takes only a single case of COVID-19 to spark a new wave of infection that can threaten our health system and push us back into increased curfews and even lockdowns.
I'm here tonight to warn you, my straight dog family, to plead, to beg you, please get vaccinated. It's not too late, like I said, to vaccinate. And that's my message to you tonight. There's some who have lost loved ones. Some names I can't track. I have to be careful, so because I have to be certain that the facts I receive are really facts. But remember on Monday, for those of you who joined me though, I promise I will do part 2 of that program that I entitled Scratch Some Lies. Because I reminded you of the old saying, scratch the liar for the hidden thief. And old people used to say that a liar is a thief. I also implored you that language, or rather that the language like thief and scam and so on is a little too harsh for straight talk. In modern times, I reminded you, for example, that in a court of law, I never heard any judge or magistrate or arbitrator, whatever you call it, I never heard them call anyone a thief. Instead, rather, the judge, whether he or she, as I said as well, they use highfalutin language. And I say so with the greatest respect for my lordship friends. But they'll use highfalutin language like you are guilty of impropriety or indulging in impropriety. And that is the language I want us to use on Street Talk, impropriety. So, like Monday, I scratched some lies. Nothing more than that. That's all I did. And those of you who joined me then would know that what I meant and what I still mean is that we identified lies from the scratch in our process of investigating to find the truth, or of our investigation to find the truth. Jog your memory when these guys told this blatant lie about the IMF report and the government blocking the IMF report, and we exposed them. Liars. They are. And all because of politics. And for part 2 tonight, I want to refer to a comment that I listened to, a comment from Louis Farrakhan. And when I heard that comment, it brought back to me, my mind flashed on Dwyer Astafan twice. My mind flashed on him. Firstly, it reminded me of some years ago when Dwyer Astafan, as the Minister of National Security, went into a magistrate's prison. He went into 1840 and took some prisoners out of the jail late one night, which was in total contravention to the Prison Act Cap 19.08, 1908 rather. Yeah, 19.08, I was correct, as amended in 2000. All these prisoners were in the legal custody of the then Superintendent of Prisons, my good friend Weatherman Dorset. I haven't seen him for a while. Weatherman, I trust that you're all right. And the facts are, this is what happened my Straight Dog family back then.
It was well known that he went into prison. Someone who was unmarried for murder. Took him out after hours. He brought him to Prime Minister's gala. Louis Farrakhan was the guest speaker. I mean, I had heard that for months, and then one day I said, but why these people saying these things? I don't think you could be that crazy to take a guy out of prison. And then he shocked us and said, well, PM, I really did it, you know. I really did it. I couldn't believe.
And the facts are, though, prisoners can be removed, as the Prison Act I just alluded to, Prison Act Cap 19.08, Section 13. Section 13 refers to the removal of prisoners, but for judicial and other purposes. But the minister has discretionary powers as well, because the Act states in subsection 2 of Section 13, and it reads, the minister may, if he or she is satisfied that the attendance at any place in the state of a person detained in a prison in the state is desirable in the interests of justice or for the purposes of any public inquiry, direct him or her to be taken to that place. Subsection 2b continues, if he or she is satisfied, that's the minister, that the person so detained requires medical or surgical treatment of any description, direct him or her to be taken to a hospital or other suitable place for the purpose of the treatment. There's another section of the Act that speaks to confinement and treatment of prisoners, and Section 9 refers to the place of confinement of prisoners. And it says in Section 9, subsection 1. A prisoner, whether sentenced to imprisonment or committed to prison on remand or pending trial or otherwise, may be lawfully confined in any prison. But the minister has discretionary powers to remove that prisoner, as the Act states. Prisoners shall be committed to such prisons as the minister may from time to time direct, and may by direction of the minister be removed during the term of their imprisonment from the prison in which they are confined to. Yes, he has discretionary powers, but not to take them to Marriott. But Dwyer was so arrogant. Dwyer Asifan was so arrogant, he ignored that part of the law which says confined to any other prison in the state, not to his house, not to Marriott. And the only other prison in the state that I know of, I think, is the prison farm, it's called, in Nevis. Forgive me if I got it wrong. I think it's in Butler's. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you know, my Straight Dog family, it is alleged that the prisoners slept in Dwyer's big house in Frigate Bay, and he took them back to 1840 the following morning. But I must, for full disclosure, Straight Talk has not confirmed the veracity, the truth of that statement that they slept in his house. Whether or not the prisoners slept in Dwyer's big mansion in Frigate Bay, let's focus on the arrogance of Dwyer Asifan. And he was the most arrogant minister to ever serve in this country. And we must focus as well on his acts of illegality. And the truth is, whether you take this prison scandal on its own, or you take the High Court matter in the case of Dwyer Asifan versus his sister Lauren Kundani in the Dennis Haley case, we can only conclude one thing, and one thing only. To it, Dwyer Asifan, according to the court documents, exerted undue influence on his Aunt Gwenny. So Dwyer is hauling around with him in Basti, and everywhere he goes, he is dragging baggage filled with nothing else but immorality. So who is Dwyer to come to lecture us? Who is he? Dwyer Asifan must tell us about his improprieties with respect to his unscrupulous dealings with the late Gwenny Haley's property, when the High Court judge called him a liar. Think for yourselves. Why do you think that parts of downtown Bastille looks like a rundown city with all those big properties on 4th Street, Liverpool Road, all over, formerly owned by Gwenny Haley? Why do you think they are locked down? They are locked down because on the 26th of October 2006, when Minister Dwyer Asifan manufactured a will that made him the sole beneficiary of all that property in Bastille, I understand in Barbados as well as in England. He manufactured a will that made him the sole beneficiary of all the property. Sole. He alone. Justice Trevor Ward wrote, and this is instructed. He said this about Dwyer: the golden rule was not followed at the time the 26th of October 2006 will was executed. That's Minister Asifan. He went on, no other relative besides Dwyer Asifan, and you know, the Haley family big, you know. But no other relative was informed about the new will on the 26th of October 2006, either before or immediately after it was signed. I remember I used to see Dwyer driving around in this car with Granny, she big dog, every afternoon around the country. We didn't know that he had a plan, a devious plan to take all the family property. But Dwyer, as the fan, must tell us how much he has to pay to the court for the legal fees, also for the expert witness fees. And I know that it runs into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And until he comes clean, then we must tell him he has no moral authority by us the fan to speak about anything in this country, as he cannot lead by example. Secondly, when I heard Brother Louis Farrakhan say this, and Louis Farrakhan had this to say, my straight dog family.
He beat my behind for lying. So she made me to love truth. Because when I did something wrong, she would beat me for the wrong, then tear my behind up for the lie, because she said the lie is worse than what you did. Because a liar will steal and a thief will kill. So I'm going to stop you at the lie.
Stop him at the lie. And we have to stop him. We have to stop Dwyer's fan at the lie. That statement by Brother Farrakhan epitomizes the actions of Dwyer as a fan with this big lie. Very big lie. Big lie coming from Dwyer Astafan, my straight dog family. Big lie, I can tell you. Dwyer Astafan lied when he said this to us.
Apparently, he wants me to explain to the nation why I, as a minister, signed an agreement. But it seems as though he wants me to explain why I signed. I'm told that he said he's not accusing anybody of bubble, but that he was just asking where's the money. That's what I'm told, right? And I don't remember. Mm-hmm. But let me say what I have to say. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
I asked this before. How could Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan not remember just a few years ago he signed a contract for $55 million? Does Dwyer drive around the country? Remember we had that green fence going for miles? It's down now. Where's the golf course? Astafan. We need to stop Dwyer at the lie, because $55 million can build over 300 low-income houses. Dwyer remembers 75 years ago when Bradshaw led the Labour Party from 1946 to 1978. And this is part of his commentary, my family.
Let's discuss the Labour Party. Its leader, Dr. Denzil Douglas, has been at the helm since 1989. He succeeded the late Sir Lee Moore, who had assumed the leadership in 1979 following the death of Sir Paul Southwell. Mr. Southwell had succeeded Sir Robert Bradshaw, who had died in 1978. And Mr. Bradshaw had led the party from 1946 to 1978.
Yes, he remembers that. Astafan, everyone is telling me that the only commentary taxpayers want to hear is about the missing golf course at the Valley. But taxpayers are asking, where's the golf course? And where the $55 million gone? That is what taxpayers want to know. So put that in your next commentary to ask the fans. That's what the taxpayers want to hear. You released another commentary today. I heard it. And did not mention one word about the Valley Golf Course of the $55 million. And he comes and he tells us about this.
Today's commentary is a follow-up to last week's, in which we discussed the upcoming internal elections of the Labour Party.
Yes. You don't want to know about internal elections of Labour Party, do I ask the fan? Tell us about the $55 million and the golf course. I won't stop until you tell us. But you're not going away. This is not going away either, ask the fan. You once again sidestep commenting on your impropriety, without hoping that the taxpayers will forget your many acts of impropriety which make you a bad role model for the youth, for all our young minds, ask the fan. Moral authority is something that you must continue to earn. By the way you behave, or by the way or how you build trust with your people. And truth be told, by as a fan, you cannot be trusted. Your behavior while you were an elected representative of St. Christopher II can only be declared or classified as dishonest, socially unacceptable, and an unsuitable example and or voice that should be exposed to young, impressionable minds here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this is not an appearance or suspicion of impropriety, because in fact, there have been charges of financial improprieties as opined by a judge of the Eastern Caribbean Court. Rastafan had formal authority for 13 years, and he abused it as the Minister of National Security. I just told he breached the Prison Act when he took the prisoners out of 1840 and carried them to the Prime Minister's gala. Rastafan had formal authority, and he abused it when, as Minister of Tourism, he signed a multi-million-dollar contract to build a golf course at the Valley. $55 million to be exact, but there's no golf course. So where has the money gone, Rastafan? Straight talk will continue, not to attack, as they want you to believe, but we will continue to scrutinize behavior of public figures much more closely. I recently started to utilize the media, the panic factory, to destabilize the efforts of Prime Minister Harris and his Team Unity administration in the process, stall the economic recovery from COVID-19. He started providing commentaries to get a negative message across to the public to help further a particular agenda. Dwyer is a public figure trying to wield the power in shaping public opinions and perceptions. I consider myself part of the media, and my role not only as a host of Straight Talk, but also as a watchdog, and that is the role the media should play as the fourth estate. Dwyer, Sam, Dr. Martin, including myself, are public figures, and as such our behavior need to be scrutinized more closely. As for his sidekick, Sam Kondo, Dwyer tells me to be Sam Kondo alone. Tell him to leave Sam Kondo alone, and he came with some veiled threats as well.
Patches need to leave Sam Kondo alone. What he trouble Sam for? What Sam do him? You all leave Sam Kondo alone. Sam is a decent man. Sam is a faithful servant, a man of integrity. All you leave Sam Kondo alone.
And with his veiled threat, it comes as if somebody is afraid of him. Nobody is afraid of Dwyer.
Patches cannot present his record to the country and defend his record and defend it successfully. Sam is a star, not you, Patches. You're not no star. This is gonna get out of hand, you know. When I say out of hand, do not start something you can't finish, Patches. Do not do it. You're a lightweight. You're not a heavyweight.
His veiled threat. Nobody is afraid of Dwyer. And as I said before, Sam Kondo follows Dwyer like Friday followed Robinson Crusoe. Yes, Friday was freed, but he remained a slave to Robinson Crusoe for 28 years trapped on an island of despair. So too Sam Kondo is trapped by Dwyer Astafan in a dream world that Labour will return to office. Sam Kondo, I'm afraid, will continue to be loyal, to be enslaved by his Syrian or Lebanon master Dwyer Astafan. Sam Kondo even ran back to Douglas. I could not believe that I heard Sam Kondo say something like this.
I really want to commend, congratulate, and compliment the leader of the opposition, Dr. Denzel Douglas, for the outstanding role he has played in helping to carry the party forward and to take the country forward. He has done an excellent job, and in my view, is our best post-independence leader.
You heard what Sam said? Dr. Douglas is the best post-independence leader. But you know what has happened? Sam Kondo has now heard the rumblings of many citizens who are making their voices heard and calling for a criminal referral. Voices like this one.
I'm tired of hearing these criminal activity that happened into the Federation. The situation with Billy Herbert unsolved. The situation with Lamba unsolved. Now the situation with Dwyer Astafan unsolved. And much more to mention. But if these are federal crimes and public affairs, why don't the damn Attorney General to get up off his butt and open up an investigation? Too much talking. Who can pressure the Attorney General if the Attorney General has jurisdiction over all these unsolved mysteries, unsolved cases, and money embezzling?
Interesting. The criminal referral should go not to the Attorney General, but to the Director of Public Prosecutions. Director of Public Prosecutions, Mulder Googly, my good friend Valston. When the court removed Douglas from the house, instead of taking criminal action to bar Douglas from the house for at least 5 years, he said it was not in the public interest. But that was his opinion. He's independent and entitled to his own opinion. Sam Kondo has to be a person of interest or a key witness in the unresolved high-level murder in Senkis. And from what Sam Kondo has said, we can also infer that Denzel Douglas has knowledge of the heinous crime and must be a person of interest. Somebody asked me about this. This is this.
What I could say to Douglas is that I know that the Jambo had given him money, he had loaned him money, and he had invested. And just before Zambo died, there was a meeting between Halva, myself, and Zambo about how he could recover his monies. Halva was supposed to organize a meeting with Zambo and Douglas to make those arrangements. Those meetings were organized. But shortly after that, Zambo died, shot to death.
And straight up, we'll also report tonight that a letter dated May 13, 2002, written by a famous extradited drug lord, has recently surfaced. And its content refers to the handing over of big bags of money. It's causing great consternation amongst the old guard of the Douglas Labour Party. And Douglas is now prepared to say much more, plenty more than this. Douglas is now prepared to say much more than this about Sam.
I had made several attempts to have the matter with Sam and the difficulties with the visa resolved. I had sent my Attorney General then, the Lana Bart, to Washington to find out exactly what was the problem. And I myself had engaged the Secretary of State at that time, Colin Powell, when we were in Quebec City at the
And Douglas, we're told, is now prepared to tell the whole story. So Sam Conner is scared and has reached out to Douglas in an attempt at reconciling the differences. Straight Talk will keep you posted on the story. Meanwhile, there is general consensus that the moral authority of Dwyer Astafan, Sam Conner, and others like Ira McMahon has long gone, but they are now trying to remain relevant. They all criticize without first thinking. They are trying everything to discredit our leader, my family. They try everything to discredit our leader. But they have been all exposed, as I said. Imagine this, my Straight Talk family. Imagine this.
Let me read you what the agreement says in terms of the Charlestown Accord.
When was that struck again?
That is
Charlestown Accord.
2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
2012,
Is there a date on
yeah.
it?
No,
Okay.
we don't have, yeah. I think it's somewhere in 2012 it was done. No, 2012. About 2013. I don't have a date on it here.
Could you imagine, my Straight Talk family, that Sam Conner is a witness to the agreement? His signature is here. Look at it. Can you see his signature? His signature is here. Sam Conner. Look at his signature. Can you see? And Sam Conner says it's 2012, 2013. Is not an agreement. He has the agreement in his hand. And the very first paragraph in the agreement is very clear. Read it for yourselves. This agreement, known as the Charlestown Accord, is made the 17th day of December 2014. The very first paragraph. What has happened to him is sad. It's either he's disingenuous, and if not, then respectively, he's that. Because like I said, he's a signature, or signatory, or he witnessed the agreement. No wonder his old boss called him a simpleton. He confessed that he's stupid. My straight up family, it is said that whenever we lie, we make an alliance with Satan. And my straight up family, there are consequences for lying. And this can be gleaned from the book of Proverbs 19 verse 19, which says, a false witness shall be punished, and the liar shall be caught. We caught them lying, like I said, with the IMF report, and we will catch them lying again. But hear this. I am willing to forgive them. However, as God forgives us all, and it's never too late. It's never too late to forgive them. Because 1 John chapter 1 verse 9 says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from unrighteousness. But Dwyer Stefan and Sam Condor and others, they must first confess, and I will forgive them. Tell us what has happened, and we will forgive them. That's my story for tonight, and I'm not going to change it. But before I open the lines, however, there are some minor matters that I want to just make reference to before I open the lines. And I want to ask you two trivial questions in particular. And I want to actually forewarn you that tomorrow afternoon on the Groundless program, each Friday on the Panic Factory, for those of you who may listen, please be aware of the propaganda and lies that will be spewed on the program. I want to ask you this question. How many of us know as well that there's a crazy man who appears on the Panic Factory either 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at mornings? How many of us know this crazy man?
They say, no, I'm crazy. I'm so happy to be crazy. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm so happy to be crazy.
My straight up family, I'm also told that this crazy man, who I found out is a friend of mine, still a friend of mine. I understand that he reads his Bible upside down. I don't believe it. But he told me this one time, and I always remember his boast, that he has more money than God.
I got money. I got a billion-dollar business. I live in a $3 million house. I got money in the bank. What else I want?
Yes, he said he has more money than God. Let's pray for him. My straight up family, the other trivial question I'll ask you, how many of you know as well that appearing on the Panic Factory is a big, bad, fat dog daily? The daily appearance on the Panic Factory.
I'll see if you gonna say nothing. He's a bad dog today.
Nah, you biting.
He's a bad dog today.
The bad dog. And this dog, I'm told, barks a lot, makes plenty noise. And you know what is said about empty vessels? Yes. They say empty vessels make the most noise. And if my grandmother comes back to us, if she is reincarnated, Granny would say as well that the big, bad, fat dog is ugly like sin. Granny would also say the big, bad, fat dog is also ugly like sin.
I said nothing. He's a bad dog today.
Nah, you biting.
He's a bad dog today.
The bad dog biting. Don't let the bad dog bite you. That's my final story, and I won't change it by straight of family. I tarried long, and I tarried long for a reason, because it's important that we out these hypocrites who come before us, those who spew all these lies. So we got to scratch the lies. We got to identify the lies from scratch as we investigate truth. It's 3 before 9. I'm going to open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. I always like to implore you, though, when I do so, I anticipate that you will respect others. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let's ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 3 before the 9 o'clock hour. I should talk family. Numbers are 465-2555 and or 718-577-2916. Let's go to the lines and take our first call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Patches. Hope all is well, buddy. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Patches, or they're sabotaging you again?
Is there a call on the line?
Patches, I'm online. Are they sabotaging you again? Good evening. Good evening, sir.
I seem to have some technical difficulty. I'm not
Patches,
sure
can you hear me?
that call, if that...
Or are they sabotaging you again?
The mayor of St. Paul's.
Patches.
You give me an idea of what's happening there in the studio.
Patches.
You heard it? I'm not hearing it, but go ahead.
Are they sabotaging you again?
If you're hearing the caller, go ahead.
Namesake. Hello. Yes, Patches. Good night. Patches, I'm glad that you're playing those clips, you see, because some people can only remember certain dates. They can remember 1967. They can remember the Buckley's uprising in 1935. But they can't remember taxpayers' money that they spend down at Low Valley. You see, these are the problems that I have with our people. Because they think that the people of this country are so gullible. They think they can throw anything in front of them and they just gobble it up. But I want to say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, we need to know your history. And as long as you know your history, nobody can fool you. Because when they begin to speak, your memory is going to drag down the road and you're going to remember what took place in what year and things like that. So, parties, I just want to say to you, continue to play those clips, because when you play those clips, somebody is eating up themselves. Just continue to do what you're doing. You're doing a good job. Doesn't matter what they say about you. You're concerned about St. Kitts and Nevis, and that's why you're out there working on the behalf of our good people. May God bless you as you continue to do the job that you were called to do, and let the people know what is going on and bring out all those information because somebody got to tell us about the money down at La Valley. God bless you. Have a good night.
Thank you. God bless you as well. And yourself, good night. We apologize.
Good night.
No problem. Yes, you're live.
Yes, a most pleasant good night. Patches. Good night. How are you doing, Mr. Liburd?
I am peaceful. My warrior from the east.
Yeah, in St. Thomas. A long time I ain't calling, but I listen, okay? But I call in tonight. I was trying to get him Monday. And I want, my thing is not concerning the giving up the opposition leader position with constituency number 6 leader. I'm here, you know, and I fumbling and I saying it's not something that constituency number 6 leader want to do. He don't really want to give it up, but it's because of the people is asking him to do it. Number 2, the 3 people who is going running for the leader, the opposition leader. I'm wondering which one of them he's going to endorse. Which one of them he's going to endorse? Because number 3 constituency runner, he's not going on. He don't really care about him running because he going to think that his father is going to lead him, tell him how to run the Labour Party if he gets in to be the leader. And constituency number 8, he don't the opposition leader presently right now don't like the constituency number 8 because he feel like constituency number 8 know too much. And he always saying not too much, you thinking not too much. Constituency number 1, the honorable constituency Newton leader, what do you think he gonna say? He just come, that's Johnny come lately. Okay? And so he only giving it up with a heavy heart because he want to be like Gonzalo in St. Vincent. He want to be like the Honorable Lester Bird Sr. and all those older who won till it was almost disabled. You understand me? So I'm looking forward for the convention of the opposition party to see who the constituency number 6 leader is going to endorse, because I know he don't want Congress, Maynard father, to get Congress to get in, because he don't want Congress father to run the Labour Party, because he know he going to get advice from his father. And he don't want Dr. Joe, a.k.a. Umi, to think, because he feel like Umi not too much, and he don't want the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley to the because he feel like Johnny come just lately, what he know about party. Me a long time. So I think I know the man good enough, so I'm waiting to hear who you endorse. Patches, you have a good night. To the Federation and St. Kitts and Nevis, I love you all. Patches, I love you. Take care. God bless. St. Thomas doing good. Ships coming in. So you know what's good about it? I ain't hear none of the ships them have any outbreak. But to God be the glory, great things you have done. I read the daily news every day. I try to listen to the news, and I haven't heard any of the cruise ships them that coming in has any outbreak. So see you on a cruise. Okay, darling? Love you. Bye.
Okay, my dear. Love you more, my warrior from the east. Let's go back to the lines.
Hello. Hello, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Patrick.
How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for responding to my request and other people's requests for playing back those tapes. And to that, I'm going to change your name. I'm going to add something to your name. Dr. Ian Patches Facts Liburd. Because you don't want to say that they say this. You have the voice right there, and that is what is killing them. Their own voice saying what you talk about them. But let me go to the man who nearly break your hand, trying to bang a woman. Well, I understand that you finger them, this give you a little problem now, and then from the punch that you stop. from he mashing up the whole face. But you will get over that. I want to tell you, Patches, that man they believe that he know about everything in this country. He know that to get into the government to say he beat Dr. Simmons. Church Street number 2 was padded up with a lot of wrong people who never live in number 2. And then he got the guts to come talk about he beat Dr. Simmons, but he killed a fish from the head. And that's why he beat Dr. Simmons. You ain't beat no Dr. Simmons, boy. You ain't beat none. Tell us about why you don't want to say what you know about the money down La Valley. Because I heard him say on the radio, he talked about the 1967 overture thing, what they were talking about. He said he was at the factory dancing night, and when they heard about it, they take over by Paradise Way and come down to the back of Frigate Bay and come home. He could remember them time there, but he can't remember something happened just a couple years ago when he was in government. And that is why I want the DPP to really inquire in these things here, because too much talking, like the guy from Malinia said, too much talking, and they're getting away with a lot of stupidness. Down Lavington, down there, down Cranston, taxpayers' money with a whole set of green fence gone right up by Newton Gong, come round and pass over the gut and go down by Bottom Bridge and come back round. Down there. All that money, I sure it's over $1 million spent to put up them fence there. And what is the result of it? What come out of that? And you got a desalination plant down at Belkate and a generator down there, rotten in. The only good they're serving down there is that the mosquito, so fast the mosquito come up, the lizard they meet them. So the lizard and they living off of the mosquito that those two things down there breed. But nothing has been played down in the golf course down there, and he can't remember about the money. He not saying it didn't happen, but he can't remember. You can't remember? But he could remember all the money he got and where he got it. And what they're saying about Patches. Patches is grudge you. And they wish that you could stop playing them clips that they could go on with the propaganda. But if they think Dr. Douglas respect them, are you going in? Remember Doyle say, Douglas don't love this country. All he loves is money. He's a green man. And remember Sam say that he nearly drowned going to Nevis. He can't wait. He nearly drowned. And then Sam say he know Douglas, Zambo, lend Douglas money and give him money. You know the story. Play them, man. I'll come back, Patches, because I want many persons calling tonight upon them. They're too worthless and bad and lie. I'll be back, Patches. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Going to the volcano. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller, you're live.
Good evening, Patches. Hope all is well, sir.
Oh, peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Good, man. You're kicking on all six tonight, man. You know something? I've always said, thank God for Patches and Sylvie. You are God's gift to St. Nevis. Okay? You got to remember, Patches, you have character. Both of you have character, unlike these labor cretins, dirty, lying, thieving dogs. You and Sylvie have character. And this is what is saving St. No matter how the labor mafia try to shut her down, she just keep on plowing through. God bless both of you, you and Sylvie. Patches, keep doing what you're doing, but make sure he don't box you off like he boxed off them guys down this, them other boys, The guys down in the circus told me about how we used to box off people. Why you black people so stupid? Why the hell are you about to come and use them around and kick them around? You're not going to allow it, though. And, if it weren't for you, Patches, petitions would have lost their democratic right, their freedom of speech a long time ago, if it wasn't for you. And it's a fact. I can remember when this slick con artist who you all fired from the building board, was sneaking around and trying to shut me down from having my democratic right.
and it worked on Bacchus. I mean, Bacchus was hanging up on people, I can't think. And then your boy over there, Nital. I thought this guy is half smart, but he obviously was smart. He was fooled too by the con artists. Okay? They can't play with you, man. You're a tricky t-shirt division. Okay? They're playing with the wrong man. Okay? You love Sinkers and Nevis. Okay? And like I said, our freedom would have been taken away a long time ago by Bacchus and your boy there, Nital. Okay? Anyhow, all I have to say, but you will have no part of it. You wouldn't have any part. You show how you love the people. And like I said, the worst thing that has happened to Sinkers is the Sinkers Nevis Massive Labour Party right before, after Black, anything after Black. That is what have destroyed Sinkers. And that Sinkers Nevis Grammar School too. Except people like you, Dr. Lord, and some more, a few others, okay? But let me tell you, this guy is so slick. He thinks he is. The man from the building board who you all fired, that bastard, he lie like a dog. But let me tell you, they tell you about this 90-year-old party. This 90-year-old, it's an old age party. It's nothing. It's age old. It's 90. When you're 90, it's time to die. It's time to move on. And this is what it is. But let me tell you, Patrick, if Bratcher was here, like I tell you, he would just send these guys to the wall. You just send Denzel, Sam, Dwyer, and June, that boy. They're not good. They are no good. They have the strong thinking, and they're going to be in the panic. I call it the station of power. The power, Nani, Imhotep, panic station. Let me tell you, that's what it is. It has destroyed our people's minds. Okay? They give them a victimhood mentality every day. Black, white, say it loud and black. You're not black enough for you're the biggest enemy of black people, all of you. Anyhow, Patrick, you keep up the good work. And like I say, God has given you and people like Sylvine to the people of Sinkers. You're the ones who are saving Sinkers. Keep up the good work, Patrick, and all the best to you. Everybody loves you. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Have yourself a good one as well. Let's go straight back to the lines. Call your line. Let's call up.
Patrick. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, your line.
Yes, good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, let me tell you, Patrick, I could tell you, right, the most three dangerous men you have in the entire Caribbean is Dwyer, Sam, and Douglas. But Sam is worse than all of them because Douglas will talk, Dwyer will talk, but Sam will pretend. So Sam is the most devious one. I could tell you, them man just jealous of the progress that the country is making. And they just can't take it. You see, evil cannot stand righteousness. And bad cannot stand good. But if y'all are doing good, and I'm hoping that the people of Sinkers and Nevis would just open their eyes and see clearly what you have before. It's just a wolf in sheep clothing the world. And no matter how much you pretend, it's only a matter of time that whatever inside will come out. Some of them already yet. And so I'm saying to you, Patrick, you're doing a good job. In the Virgin Islands, they used to call a young man by the name of Faxman Adams. But guess what? You name Faxman Liburd. Because what? You always come with the facts, and they can't take the facts. They can't take the truth. Patrick, Sinkers is moving, and it's an eyesore to the Caribbean. But because they are not in the seat, they just can't take it. I could tell you, oh God bless, no man gonna cross. Patrick, you're doing well. And we love you.
Thank you, my
and we're going to keep with you. Patrick, you are my namesake, Liburd. My Liburd one. Take care of yourselves.
That's correct.
Take care. And may the people of Sinkers and Nevis continue to be wise. Don't be deceived. Don't let Douglas, Sam, nor Dwyer deceive you. just stay put and keep the country moving in the right direction. Patrice, good night.
Good night, my brother. Namesake. Let's go straight back to the line. Call your line. Yes, caller.
Patrice, good night. Hello?
Mr. Politics. Yes, take your radio down. Politics.
No, yes. Sorry about that. Patrice, first, I want to thank God for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis that I born and raised and live into. And I want to thank God for Team Unity. And I want to thank them and their performance for the time they're in government from 2015. I believe they're bringing real growth and economic development to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and despite of this COVID. Patrice, I want to ask the people of this Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis if they really believe that Dwyer Astafan, Sam Kanda, and those who will be in the panic factory, people like Dr. Martin, Chaffman, if they really love the Federation and they really love the country, I want to ask the people of question that. But you know the reason why? Because all what Dr. Douglas has done, and Sam Kanda and Douglas come out, and Sam Kanda and Dwyer Astafan come out and say this and say that, Douglas ain't good for this country, Douglas is good for this country, and all these things. What I want to know, if my people forget just 6 years ago, they were saying that. You understand? Patches, they don't have no love for the country, they don't have no love for the people, and come to the last call, a grudge, the grudge. They cannot find nothing better to say. And all that, the only upset with Dr. Timothy Harris, you know, is all about them and the packet and what they ain't get, what they were supposed to get. You understand? Like other people in the country, Dr. Harris ain't supposed to solve. He's the Prime Minister of the Unity Government, PAM CCM. You understand? He got to case for Nevis. He got to case for St. Kitts. And then the man is doing a good job. But you see, Patches, all of them who talking and saying all kind of thing, they will never come and say nothing good this government do. Look this COVID. If they really love this country, they will not come out and say something that good the government do. And despite of this COVID, but nothing at all. It's just about them and the pocket and the self. They have no love for the country, Patches. Shame on them, and the people gonna make them look small again. Patches, next time around, the people gonna make them look small again. People make them look small. They don't have no love for the country. And a lot of idiotic people walking, following them, people who will help, want to take this government like a welfare. This government is not a welfare. Everything the government must do. Now go out and sacrifice for yourself and do something for yourself. We know we are under a pandemic. I just ever get back. You have a wonderful night. God bless the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis.
God bless you as well. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Good evening, Honorable Patrice Liburd. Now, I have to congratulate you on your opening statement and everything. But you forget one or two things with the same gentleman there, Mr. Ashkafan. You forget when he banged, he was with the hammer. And okay, all right, that's it.
Rock, please, no, Rock.
Well, it was public knowledge. The police check him out today. Well, you want me to call the police name who check him out today?
Rock, please, no, please.
Well,
please,
I
Rock,
tell you. Okay.
Rock, please.
Yeah, I understand. No, okay, I'm going to shift.
I want you to take that back, Just take that back, please, Just take that back, please. You know, I really don't want that in the station.
Okay, well, all right. I bypass that. Now, let me explain something to you. I want to tell them 3 young men who went in for the Labour Party to be the leader of the Labour Party. If they're going to take any advice from Ascafan, they will be doomed. They will be doomed. You understand me? Ascafan don't like none of them. He trying to make a foothold with whoever come to. And as far as he see now, that what's his name heading there, right? As because he was endorsed by Douglas. So he look like he backing him up, right? But the little that Ascafan know, and he well know, that nobody want to see Congress nowhere around there, right? Nobody gonna support Joe while he's still with Dougie. And if you taking advice from Dougie and Ascafan, Joe gonna be in trouble. Now the gentleman from your town, he's a highly respectable young man. The fact remains, he don't boast, he don't brag, and carry on like the rest and so on, are ready to be used. You understand me? So they want to try to keep him out. But is, you know, Dwell Ascafan is, you don't have to light no lamp to look for it. He's an opportunist. He wants to get his hand in the deal in government funds. You know, by saying, well, he gonna do this, and he could get this, and he could get that, and just get he cut and gone. You know, the shoreline plaza, where the money gone for that? The pumpkin, where the money gone for that? The craft house, with all them craft houses cost thousands of dollars to build. Where the money gone for that? What come out of the frigate funds? You know, where the money gone for them things? They need to come and tell the general public what they has done and ask for sympathy. Don't come and criticizing this unity party and figure to themselves they could succeed with it. Because I want to tell you a little story. Yesterday we had a ship there, I think it was the Britannia, and it was very successful to some of the benders and so on. But what I noticed down there, right there where I am, you have a gentleman there, he sell appliances, he sell stove, and those kind of different things. He want to come out the bubble, and nobody want to help him to come out the bubble. Because, and he right there on the corner. You don't have to go nowhere to take him out the bubble. It's only one sheet of them friends could take him out of the bubble. Because he's saving you from going to St. Martin and different place to buy a stove and a fridge and all of that and different things like that. He bring it to you. So he's saving Kittition's expense. Another thing again, where Palace is there, I think they need to help Palace by putting 1 or 2 security guards to walk the people them who come to Palace while you is vaccinated. I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know, while you're vaccinated, somebody could be able to walk to you by Palace to pick up a pair of shoes and return back a pair of shoes. Because I see people crying all day today. Because they buy shoes, they wanted to go funeral, they wanted to carry the children to school, and they were refused to go and buy Palace. So if you had one them security down there who ain't doing nothing, will either call the woman from Palace or the man from Palace and walk them to Palace, see them buy the thing while they're vaccinated, and let them go back to the bubble. That is my take on that. You know, but Patches, continue to do what you're doing. I'll be back to let you know about the crazy man who got more money than God, right? But he did holding the Bible in one hand, as you say, he had it upside down, and he got a sword in another hand. You know, I don't know if you remember Solomon in Trinidad. That was Doya Ascafran. I'm going to bring back Solomon, the same Solomon in Trinidad who was a minister, went in the jail and took out his son-in-law. This is what Doya Ascafran them is. You understand me? They want to do as they like. One of the guys he took out of the prison and went over to Marriott with. When the guy get loose the following month, he was dead right in front of our church door. Shot dead. Right? So only to show you, and he had a little daughter with him and everything. So only could have show you what could have taken place over Marriott with the ignorance what they were carrying on with. Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. And like I said, my favorite family, unless we can verify these things, please, let's talk about them. Let's go back to the lines. Call us the line.
Good evening, Honorable Patches. You saying, right?
How are you?
That Honorable Doyle is a bad man. But he is a bad man because all of you follow him. Over Port Sante, I used to go out meeting with him, and by the late Sebastian, I used to go out meeting him. So he was our leader. So don't call him back because he lead I to the Queen Council. That I could say that I win defeat them and choke labor. So you don't call him the bad. Because I used to see I with a brown folder in all your hand. Going in there. In the by Sebastian. That's why you argue his son a good work at the hospital. So you are don't correct, wrong. All of you is bad as politicians. And all of you, when I in politics, I go for the money and I left out. Because since 2004, I will get raised and I will get a raise again with no money. And the food are high sky and the doctors are high sky. Yes. Good night.
Good night. That's my Labour friends. All of us are bad. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah and Queen and Singer. A blessed evening, my beloved African, but how are you, all the family?
Peaceful, my brother. You?
Good man, and the clan is good. Now, my beloved brother, let me tell you something. Let me give you a little advice, beloved. I know when people say all kind of things about you, whether truth or lies, especially lies, can't let people be slinging mud and throwing mud on your brother, because lies and some of the mud, brother, they keep throwing enough, some will stick, and people will accept it as a lie. These people and the panic factory. I know you know of Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi minister of propaganda, but all of them over there is like that. So, brother, don't be distracted. I know you are not, but I'm just reminding you, don't be distracted, beloved. If they say anything about you, defame you, the court is there. Just carry them on court. That's all, beloved. But we can't waste time with that Arab rat, beloved, and others, man. Come on, brother, you're more intelligent than all of them, especially him. Brother, he just jealous, they jealous you, brother. They envy you, beloved. You just keep on rising, and they just keep on falling. So my beloved brother, don't worry with them, beloved. Just continue to do the work, the great work. And let me say now, beloved, in the short time you're up here, beloved, I've been hearing and I check in, confirm and everything. You've been doing great. For this short time you've been here, beloved. So just continue to do the work, beloved, for our country, our people. And brothers, I know you love your people. I know you love African people, especially, and care, especially poor African people at the end of the economic ladder, brother. That's why my admiration for you, love and respect continue up to this day, beloved. And that I will never waver, long as you stay in the zone, beloved, brother. You can count on brother Nabo. And brother, I wish, I know you can't make no announcement, brother, I hope you're running #1 come next election. I don't know whether it's for PLP. I could accept that. Independent, I could accept them too, brother. But I know you want to run with the boy from St. Paul's thing. I mean, he should know the door anyhow, unless St. Kitts and Nevis people breed. So, beloved, I know you can't say anything because of your position, beloved. But I hope you make that move, man. We want to see great movements again, man. It look like since you left, all the ministries just fall flat and they back, beloved. They do some little things here and there, but ain't nobody like you, beloved. And I still refer to you as one of the hardest working minister, beloved, in the history of St. Kitts Nevis, coming from Bratcher time up to Team Unity time, beloved. So, beloved, don't be distracted, man. Don't be distracted. That's what they want you to do. Don't come Monday and Thursday and talk about you here, the ambassador, and, you know, the great things you're in store for our people, the upliftment of our people. They want to distract you, brother. Don't take the bait, beloved. Don't take the bait. Brother, continue to listen. Keep up the great works. Have a great weekend. You and the entire federation. I know you're up here, brother, especially my beloved sisters and brothers over there, number 6. And I'll call about number 6. Brother, let me ask you a question if you can answer. If you can, you can find. Who is the caretaker over there in 6? Is it brother Ninky? The doctor's sister. Her name is Bernicia Nesbitt. Who you know, brother, when I get off, you can answer me. Brother, continue to listen. Pan-Africanism our purse. One love, my beloved African brother.
One love, my brother. I'm not aware there are any changes since the last elections, so that's the only way I can answer that. The caller, you like.
Good evening.
Yes, caller.
Good evening, servant Ambassador Patrick Liburd. How are you doing this
evening? Brother, I am peaceful. I'm so elated to hear this voice.
And
how are you doing?
I am doing great. The sentiments are shared. I too am equally elated. I turned off from politics, as you well know, and I turned into myself. I haven't even been listening to the radio except for a few episodes lately. But servant Ambassador Patrick Liburd, I want to sincerely commend you firstly for the priceless service you have given and continue to give to our beloved Federation for all of these years. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, my brother, the whole world is listening.
And secondly,
I am.
And secondly, after that, immediately thereafter, but no less in scale of importance, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the astronomical assistance you gave to me while in a state of heightened duets. Let the whole world know. And my strength was weak to love you more. I say sincerely, is an impossibility. But in reflecting upon tonight's discourse and two others which I did not intrude upon, I said I had to tell you one thing to guide you in the way forward. If, of course, I'm permitted to be presumptuous, my friend, promises may get or attract friends, but it's performance that keeps them. Have we performed? Have you performed? Well, to the extent that you have, that Team Unity has, unjust opposition would ring hollow in the ears of the voters. And as you well know, in the final analysis, that's what gives the coin of the realm its relevance and current potency. The unimpeachable emblem of political authenticity. My respect for you, I repeat, knows no bounds. So calling you to account is not easy. You know what you have done for me. Far more. Two unscrupulous members of a close-knitted family who joined with certain government factions to sell me out in the name of political expediency. You know the story just as well as you are perfectly acquainted with our glorious history of opposition against unrestrained tyranny. Every member in government, with the exception of yourself, or from the original vanguard, they are there. The Honorable Sam Conda and his gorgeous wife was there. Mr. Astafan, he was there also. Their contributions, you must admit, was then significant. If they defected, attack them with all the fierceness you can muster in defense of the status quo of which you are a part. But try as you might or anybody else, their substantial and eternally worthwhile contributions can never be overshadowed or diminished. In that golden moment, I wind down by saying, in that golden moment in history, patriotism expressed in direct affirmative action through robust action covered everything, everybody, regardless of past transgression, was welcome, even myself. Let's start. The irresistible power and appeal of the innovative Team Unity. How did we stray so far? Have we become the victims of our success? In closing, I evoke the words of someone more worthy than myself by far. Keep your words soft and sweet, because you might just have to eat them. Mr. Astafan, Mr. Sam Conda, and others should have learned this lesson a long time ago. You better not fall into that trap, because I want you to run again. And when you do, I'm coming out of the closet. I love you, my brother, and you still remain my hero. Good evening, folks.
Good evening, my brother. I've heard that voice for a long time. I tried calling you as well. So it's so nice to hear you. I always sit back and just listen to a man of power and eloquence. Edinburgh, I love you more. Be strong, be safe, and you have a friend in me, always. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller? Are you there, caller?
Patches, good night, Patches. What's going on, my son?
I am peaceful, my warrior from the east.
Oh,
about you?
Patches, good night. Patches, I want to tell you, right, in life, you can't please everybody. Some gonna hate you and some gonna love you. Some gonna please and some gonna sad. I hear man call on the way and the Prime Minister thing Tuesday night, and he said, you up in America, you ain't representing them. But never try to please everybody in life. You hear? It can't happen. Never happen. And Mr. Douglas, before Congress Maynard, any day over Mr. Joe. Congress Maynard is only a bit for them. They just use him when they want. But he prefer Congress than Mr. Joe. Everybody could see it plain. And good night, Prime Minister. That says the country running good. Country running good, that is the only thing now the Prime Minister can do. And if he couldn't do it, he will do it, is make St. Kitts snow. Little St. Kitts Nevis next to America in the Caribbean. Prime Minister, you keep it so you can't please everybody neither. Some going to hate you and some going to love you. Patches don't have much to say. Country going good. And all who don't want to take the and the Prime Minister, the loving Prime Minister, as much as they don't say anything about him. You see what he do? America send a field hospital. Now, hanging a body in a license to open a more funeral home. And they hear people are dead, and then they want to take the vaccine. He open a funeral home. He open a hospital to help them and to save lives. You want anything better than that, Patches? Prime Minister, you stay, be loved, and keep on loving. Patches, you have a blessed night. You're going to thank you for Christmas. You need to carry on Brother Nabu with you. Brother Nabu, you need to take a trip St. Kitts. Because you don't know what's going on. And you have a talk about you're here. Hearing things that is two different things. You go St. Kitts and you see the big difference in St. Kitts, okay? Now come and talk about you hear this and you hear that. Take a trip down St. Kitts next to America in the Caribbean. Patches, good night. And good night to everyone. The same Patches, you're going to St. Kitts Christmas, Patches?
I'm sure, why not?
Make sure you send them to Mom Barry, you know. I don't want to hear the talk about Barry. She want a barrel, but I want a crowley. I want a whole container.
Crowley, stop burning here. Crowley, stop burning. So you gotta get tropical.
Okay, well, I want a tropical. I want a whole container. She want a barrel. I want a container. You have a blessed night. See you and everybody good night. Be safe, be loved, take the vaccine. Vaccine save lives. Bye, Patches.
Have a good night as well. We go straight back to the lines and take call me line.
Yes, Patches. Mr. Faxman, this is Mr. Kondo. Yes, Jacqueline is right. Tuesday night, a man calling on the radio, playing smart in the first place. He was noising up the Prime Minister. And then he wanted to get at you. And he did get at you. So that he made many appointments to see you, and you shunning him. But then the Prime Minister straightened out that problem, and happened so the next day he called again straight talk and frank and candid. And it was so nice and good to see that the moderator, the host of the show, straighten it out and explain to him the same thing what the Prime Minister tell him. You have other people working in the office. So all he has to do, if he can't get to you direct, state the case to the secretary and all those people are working there with you. But he just want to be vicious against you and trying to make your name look bad. Just like how we try to see if he could insult King Socrates. But King Socrates give him a message. King Socrates tell him what King Socrates want him to do is to keep King Socrates' name out of his latrine, and he ain't attack Socrates again. That is what he want to hear. So let me tell you this now, Mr. Lawyer Button-Up, the man who wanted the long pier where you build, and because the company that he recommended to build the pier ain't get the bid, he bitter than Gall, he bitter than Dr. King Sulfur Bitters, and others and all them they mix up over you. But he can't do you nothing, and he will never get no further than where he is. Walking around trying to people friends, and to see who in there and ask him if they're alright. If you got any problem, tell him. There you go on the radio. When he get into government, he said that he won't mash down all them houses on Orishton Bay Road and build up a nice front beach building come up there. Well, he gonna interfere with people building. Well, what happened to them when he got on Liverpool and up West Bungot and all up Newtown, Sandon Road and all them there? What happened to them? Whether it be wet farm, when he don't break down them, clean the beam out of your eye before you look in your brother's eye and say you got him out. Let go and do that deal. And this one here, what they call what Douglas said, is a kunumuno. He had to be ashamed of himself. What he said about Douglas, all the things they do with Douglas, he throw Douglas down in a political pit on his head, and they pull up Douglas by foot, and wash him off and change the clothes, and go and hug him up and think, and say that he's the best thing for the country. And every day upon your name, but his grudge got them. They wish they could have been there where you are. They couldn't do it. One of them was there, and every minute he down here. I doubt if he spent 3 weeks up there where you be, and come talk what they're going for radio. Just like you say, he got the facts right there in front of him and the paper, the first paragraph, and he's stumbling over, he can't get it in. That is how wickedness got them. And while they're on the panic factory talking, you know, even the elephantitis one, you know, the one who look like an elephant, while they're talking about you, they're worrying about you because they said, Lord, I hope you don't come with nothing tomorrow, you know, because he got all the facts on us and we can't get away. Cannot get away. Douglas said that the one who legged the box after the woman face and he block it. Or here Douglas said when he come tongue with the father to go shopping, and he also in the sidewalk waiting, they're up there spitting on him. Those white boys spitting on Douglas. The Douglas even said that. Douglas said Doyle is a racist. Denzel Douglas said Doyle is a racist. So if you got a clip, I would like you to play all of them for me. Let it hear.
No. Careful with that, please.
Well, I hear Douglas say so, but I go careful.
Please. Yeah, but please on that.
Well, maybe you ain't got a sound bite, but I hear so. Anyway, let me move on from here.
Please.
Let me move on from here.
Take my advice.
Congress will never get the votes that he expect to get. Number one, he know how bad Douglas be with lies. And Congress say, anything he leader tell him do, he gonna do. If you tell him jump in and ask him how high. So anybody gonna vote for Congress who gonna hug up a man who tells so much a lie to the country? And the second thing again, we're gonna keep down Congress. One day Miss Henry engage him in a conversation on the panic factory. And he said, let she go, and she's an old car. Miss Henry could be his mother. Miss Henry was educating the nation And Miss Henry hit him the facts and he didn't like it. And he said, oh man, let she go, she's an old car. You disrespect the woman as a lady, a Christian and a widow. So you ain't gonna get no way. And let me say this here. The most people gonna vote for the man up in number one. The man up in number one, because the other one, he got to cool on his arrogance. Anyways, other people want to come in at the time late, so I don't read it until next week. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your input. I'm craving your understanding. Just give me a couple seconds, call. I'm craving your understanding, my callers, with some of the things that we utter in the program. Yes, I want the facts to come out, and as you know, as strong as you wish. That's what streets are all about. But say the things that you know, right? Say the things, you mentioned the pier, that is correct. Because a $40 million pier would have cost the country over $250 million if Dwyer Astafan's client had got the approval, the cabinet approval to construct that pier. And that has really made him bitter. Do the calculation yourself. How much would a lawyer get from that $250 million? He'd been a millionaire. But same thing about the contract and the $55 million, we know that. Same thing about the court. But this program, this host cannot verify and will not associate itself with any comments that relates to race in reference to that particular gentleman. Please, I crave your understanding. We cannot associate ourselves with that comment. Caller, thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller? Are you there, caller? Okay, I seem to lose that call. Are you there, caller?
Good night, Patrick. What I want to...
You have a radio on?
Yes. Okay. Hear me out.
Just turn it off. Listen to the telephone.
Okay. Far from it.
Just lock it up. Listen to the telephone. Lock it up.
Okay. What I want to outreach to the public, right? You will hear me?
Yes,
I want to reach out to the public. I want to know the reason why the people in Tabernacle who is cleaning the jail keep on showing this stuff in people's yard. It's unfair. They're not supposed to do that. And then even though they're taking the government barrow, and the going was selling blood pudding, it cannot be right. You're taking up, you're using a barrow to tidy up the place, and at the same time you want to use it for travel food for people to eat. Cannot be right. I see it happen. I could talk about it, and I could call people in who doing it. I may feel anybody. So could the public that are aware of what's going on, especially in Tabernacle where the Prime Minister live, stop cleaning the jail and the muck in people's land. You only liquor in and they're going to come a heap and people going to church things there. And they got to pray to get the whole complete place clean. You want to send your pudding, use your personal space, not government and not a dirty barrow. It's not healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Straight into the point. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Yeah, good evening, Honorable Patrick. Now...
Yes, Rockefeller.
Yeah. Now, the gentleman just now, right, he amusing to me to say, well, the guy using the thing to pick up garbage and so on. And he write down there where a police station is and he make a report to them if he interested in the area and let the police know what's going on there. You know, now, maybe he have a grievance and he's free to come and do it on the show. But I don't think what's going on down there is credible to this show right now. We have more things here in Basquiat and in the Federation, I think it's a Nevis, to talk about what is going on here. Now, you see how life is? Life is fair, but not fair to some. And it's unfair to some, right? Because when you have a man like Dwyer, who was Minister of National Security, and couldn't go to the United States like Sam Condor and them, right? That the Prime Minister had was to step in to get a special pass for he to go to the prison thing what they had up in the States by the United Nations there. And he only get a visit for 1 day. You understand me? So then they know today they're talking about people when they had their own problem. He in government, and every time he go in government, when they have a cabinet meeting, he have nothing to bring to the table but talking about other people, normal man in the road, and different things like that. You know, and now today, he's out. He's still trying to make a comeback when he had so much things to say about Dougie. And now, he talking now today. He and he's gone on the Prime Minister. Why do you think he don't like the Prime Minister? Because when he used to go cabinet meeting, the Prime Minister turned to him and said, every Monday you come here, the same thing over and over. Let's deal with government business. And he worked with him from since that. But he was sucking up to him with the intention that he was going to get some deals from him. But when he ain't got nothing to wheel and deal about, he take him make enemy. But this Prime Minister here gonna live and he gonna be put there for a while before anybody could move him. Why should he only take 2 when man had 3 and 4 and have 20 years, you know, and 15 years? But why he must take 2? Why he worse than everybody? No, he's not. You understand me? He just as intelligent and more smarter and more brighter than a lot of them. So what they're trying to do, they're not going to get it work. But I can tell the Prime Minister one thing. He needs to start get himself straight now. Because they don't send a challenge to him for what they're going to do from what they're not going to do. So let me go back to the poll anytime you're ready, and we'll see what goes on. Patrice, God bless you, God bless Sinkit, God bless my Prime Minister and the Cabinet and the whole Federation of Sinkit and Nevis. And you continue to do the work, what you were sent up at the UN to do. You know, there are people who down here talking, they never even had the opportunity to know what goes on in the little office up there where you control. The amount of meeting you have in 1 day, the amount of people you have to see. And it's better now, because I think it is more on the map. Every diplomat up there want to meet with you, because they don't think it's the greatest place right now in the Caribbean and on the face of the earth. So you're going to burden down with work. So don't follow them others who want to bring you what they want to do, because they can't get to push you and see you for a minute. Don't go wrong, go eat nothing from them. Don't go wrong, go drink no rum on the sidewalk with them. So let it go about the business. Don't go on a radio show with them. You're not in the category with them. So let it go ahead. God bless you, Patrice.
God bless you as well. We go back to the lines. Call your line. Hello, caller. Call your line. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Patrice. Good night.
Jam down. Good
Yes,
night, my brother.
Mr. Biden. Patrick, I wanna say good night to the Prime Minister and thank him well for adding some hearings to street people who come with the truth, because straight talk bring truth. Mr. Prime Minister, Jam don't want to thank you to looking after the people them down at Port Zante. You answer the client call, everybody happy. The people are not against the bubble, but we don't want the people to leave the ship, go under excursion, come back, and go on straight back to the boat. The tourism authority, after I talk on your show on Monday night, the one went and working for you. They're full of lies, you know. But we gonna get to the truth. We will get to the truth. All the time. We had about 4 ships now. And every time the ship board, the people leave the ship, go on the excursion, and go right back on the ship. Where the shops they must open for. Where they must go pay the government electricity with sweetie paper, coffee paper. That short fella down there so like jump up on the table, get yourself in order. Otherwise, we will go to ask the Prime Minister for a cabinet chief and put that girl from Sandy Point over there. We can't know this tourism. I was talking to the same man when I was telling you about in his first opening back when he come on the show. And the man telling me he applied to the LOC to get out the bubble. And he had to go to Miss Brown. When Miss Brown they had the security from? Mr. Prime Minister, he should set up somewhere different to tourism that the people could apply and get smooth action. Oh, she busy. Oh, she in a meeting. No, Mr. Prime Minister, this is going to think I work in tourism. That lady has too much clothes. She must study about she work in the tourism. Nothing. It look like that there Samuel shouldn't be there. And I get ourselves together. Juicy boy when I get ourselves together. Tourism is not supposed to run in so. She has too much of clothes. You got to wait to see for you to come out of bubble and the money I make, and then this is the first time that I know the port since I talk and catch a show. That I know the port wanted the meeting people. Too late will be higher crime. Patches, this is jam now, eh? Next Monday I have more things to talk about. Because they're playing game, you know. Oh, Mr. Prime Minister, the bathrooms them in the Pelican Mall, you have to allocate money to get them fixed. The same. All kind of malls, the ones that the tenants them in the Pelican Mall are customer using. Since the days of Kennedy Simmons, when he bring that into play. Close down for months. And the authority is not saying nothing to these people. You can imagine that seller to like jump up on the table. Never go around and have a meeting with these tenants in the mall and his store is not almost put home. How the hell are you telling me? This pushing up chest thing ain't gonna work. Everything Clyde Webster talk about is right. I've seen it. Damn not stupid. He's a street man. This vagabond behavior is not gonna work. And he put in the little school little boy to feel like the people at some moment belong to him. He put him in the same dirtiness. Why have me to deal with? Because I'm going to just tell me one back down. Catch you have a good night. This is Jam Down talking. Good night, yes. Mr. Prime Minister.
Good night, brother. Real patriot. Just take this call. Call me live.
Good night. I want to rock to know I am not his enemy. I am not his target. So please don't come and strap on me. If I live in an area and I see some things is not going the way it's supposed to be, I have the right to speak out on it. You understand? I don't want nobody to target me. 'Cause I ain't targeting nobody. I talking for rights. Wrong or wrong, right or right. Check. All I simply saying.
I agree with you.
All I simply saying, look at it now. We're trying to boost the economy with the tourism. How the tourism apartment should allow a man who refused to take the vaccine, sleeping in a boat at Black Rock, have done here like a garbage pan for months and years, and nobody trying to do nothing. Cannot be right. That's something they're supposed to be looking into and get that man out of there. I don't care who wants to watch me bad. I will never ever encourage no taxi man to go by the place, go by. No. For them now, I guess. And tell Rock, me say, he's not an enemy of mine. But he needs to take his beam out the oil first before he try to come at somebody else. Because I never offend him. I spend money years and months and days with him. He don't even know how me be. And when he had his shambles up the airport, I still support it. And then we go and pose that he can't even spin on the yard. I want to abuse people. Clear he act for us.
Okay. I'm going to take 2 more calls before we wrap tonight. I'll make this my penultimate call. Call you live.
Yes, good night, Mr. Patches. Good night, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, the health thing ain't going good at all. The health thing, you know. So much money out there, throw up and down, and the health thing under bad condition. Yeah, the bathroom down there by me, you know. This month make one whole year. A bathroom there by me on the terminal this year make one whole year. It ain't fixed up to now. No toilet paper in it. They bring a hole to put it there. One bathroom and the other one ain't got none. The guy, it needed toilet paper in the east bathroom. The west bathroom tush. And the east bathroom, going back to the Chinese there, they'll want to fix. I don't know what happened now, me must be in the terminal. Look. It's the bathroom that was the last one to put down. And up to now we can't get it fixed. I speak about it the other day, they said that somebody on holidays and they quarantine, the person come out there, oh I got one and all the money government got. When you come to them conditions, I got one maintenance person too, working. Should have been more people than that. Lord, for our health care, Lord, for the health system in St. Kitts. Oh, yeah, the bathroom the jam no talk about. Somebody in the shop, they have a shop down there, don't told me about it. Especially, it's for the shop alone, not for anybody else. And they said, no big deal. And it can't get fixed. I used to go there now and again and use it. If I go by the shop person, now we're there for years now. I beg how we will happen to the health system for we inside the bathroom, outside on the street. We gone to the dogs. Oh, good night to you. We have money to spend upon them otherwise, but not on the health system. Health system gone to the dogs.
Have a good night as well. I'll take 1 more call. I think this is my final call.
Patches, I know you're straight up.
Yes, my dear.
But when you hear some people coming on the radio and getting too personal with people that man will work, you need to turn down the mic or just cut them off. Don't let nobody come and hear the dirty laundry and you show. When they got personal thing, then they meet people on the road and let them know. Don't do that, Patches, and I listen to you all the time. When you find that they're getting out of hand, cut them off. And you have a safe night. And the bathroom down by the ferry terminal, and not the ferry terminal, the Pelican Mall, it really needs to upgrade. It looks very, very, very bad to tourists. I ain't talking about the one down by the terminal because them drunken people, them should have keep it so. But fix up the one in the by the Pelican Mall. That is good night. Cut them off, Patches, they ain't sounding good over here. Rock now what he doing and Rock clean. With Rock, just sell his stuff, it's clean. But some of them house, You can't go by the door because the cockroach, then they look security guard by the door. Boy.
You're just as bad, Jackie. Okay. I think that's the way we gotta end it tonight. That is what Straight Talk is all about. But as we wind down tonight's programming, I want us to focus on one thing in particular, that Straight Talk is an integral part of the media in St. Kitts. And I, as host of Straight Talk, just like be part of the media, or just like the media, we are watchdogs. And that is the role of the media as first or fourth estate, beg your pardon. And public figures must be of a particular behavior. And their behavior must be scrutinized, beg your pardon, more closely. I'm including myself as a public figure myself. Scrutinize our behavior. Nothing is wrong, absolutely nothing is wrong with that. But I want to also say that moral authority is something that people must earn. You earn it by the way you behave. You earn it by building trust with people. But as we wind down tonight's programming as well, I know some people couldn't get it, and I do apologize for that. But we're not going to accept lies. Only truth will speak here on Straight Talk. We're gonna, as I said in the beginning, we're gonna scratch the lies. And by scratching lies, I mean that we will identify them from the scratch and we discard them. Because it is said, whenever we lie, we make an alliance with the devil, Satan. He is the father of all liars. As the Gospel of John says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Someone called tonight and said that Sam, Dwyer, and Douglas are the three dangerous or most dangerous people in the Federation. Namesake, he said, a Liburd. Yes, you're right, all Liburds are one. But we're going to speak up, because like the good book says, a false witness shall be punished, and a liar shall be caught. And when we caught them lying, we will expose them. And like I said, I'm willing to forgive them, but they must confess. They must confess of their sins. Just like the good Lord promises, if we confess our sins, He's faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. I thank you all for the guidance. I thank for the guidance, but I'm not distracted. But I can tell you, we will scrutinize them. And I said, Dwyer and Sam, they have no moral authority to be speaking about anything. As I said to you, Straight Talk has a letter. Straight Talk will report soon about a letter dated May 13, 2002. Written by a famous extradited drug lord. It has recently surfaced, and its content refers to the handing over big bags of money. It's causing great consternation amongst the old Labour guard. But sometime we'll talk about that. We're going to talk the truth. And I know the truth hurts. But I also know that there are consequences for lying. I should have family. My time is done, and I gotta run. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. And as always, I want to thank you, the callers. I want to thank those of you on social media, Facebook, YouTube, whatever platform you use. Those who send emails, those of you who call. Some of you did not get in. But those of you who are in tune to the big bad ZIZ radio, no matter what they say, we're going to talk the truth on the nation station. We have to expose them, we will. But I want to thank you, all of you you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and I want to thank you. I want to thank the mayor from St. Paul's, Theophilus Clark, at the console. In the back room as well, John James and AJ. AJ, I can see from my vantage point. I want to thank all three of you. You make Straight Talk. There's no Straight Talk without you. So until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and all whom you meet. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Do your chores. Get your rest. Whatever you do it in moderation. But remember, whatever your mind conceives, that you will achieve. First of all, you've got to believe. But when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank you for taking you to tonight. My Shrizzle family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
For the morning light, give him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food